Rev up your engine! You're gonna think I lost my mind. Here is a Dodge that I would buy. Yes, the man who hates Dodge products, right? Well, have I lost my mind? Well, maybe I have. I don't know, I'm getting old, but it is a heavy-duty Cummins turbo diesel. Now, as I said over and over again, I don't think it was such a great idea when Chrysler and Dodge got bought by Fiat. Quality started to go down. They started using Italian diesel engines in some of their stuff. Not in this. Cummins. American 6.7 liter turbo diesel engine. Now granted, you might not need an engine this big and this powerful, but if you do, it's the engine to get. People get them because of their incredible towing capability. This thing's rated to tow 11,890 pounds. Now, that's what it's rated for. You can actually pull quite a bit more. I've seen people pull 20,000 pounds with these things. Now, you're not going to be able to go on a highway going 80 miles an hour doing that, but it just shows what one of these diesel engines can pull. It's got a 6-speed automatic. Now, yeah, you know, Dodge builds the bodies. The bodies are bodies. The problems that you have when a vehicle is problematic is either the engines go out of the transmission. A great Cummins diesel engine that can last a really long time. That's why if I was going to get a gigantic truck, I would definitely think about getting one of these. Now, it is a diesel. It is a big, heavy diesel, right? So it doesn't matter what he does. He gets 12 miles a gallon. Highway, city, that's what he's going to be getting because they're big, giant monster work trucks. You do not worry about gas mileage if you're going to get a truck like this. Like I said, if you don't need a big giant diesel engine, hey, buy something else because you're getting all that power. If you need that power, runs a landscaping business, needs to pull all kinds of stuff, you're going to get bad gas mileage in any kind of diesel. When you're pulling any kind of weight, you get an engine that powerful. That's just the way it goes. And of course, with landscaping business, well, you're going to be getting in a lot of dirt, so it's also 4x4. And of course, this is a real truck, so it's got a real bed, too. This isn't one of these stupid trucks with a baby bed on it. As a matter of fact, this guy's got 2 of them, and the other one has a 5th wheel in the back for really towing heavy stuff. He can fit a bunch of his crew in here. He's got mixing equipment because he's a musician, too, but you know, they're very spacious. Now, he bought it used with 175,000 miles. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, he must be insane buying that thing with that mileage on it, right? Not really. I've seen these things with 500,000 miles on them, and they're still going. And he obviously knew something about vehicles because, you notice, he did not buy a GM diesel pickup truck. Now, I had a customer who did the same thing as him, only instead of buying this Ram Cummins, he bought a GM diesel. The thing got to like 210, it started falling apart. If you want to learn from experience and you're going to buy a used diesel, don't think about buying the GM diesels. You ask anybody who knows diesels, they'll tell you the GMs don't hold up like the other ones do. Now, I mean, let's say you bought it brand new. It just started falling apart till they had 200-something thousand miles. Some guys think, oh, well, that's okay. Well, really, for a diesel truck, that's not okay. Look at all that chrome. It's a classic truck. It isn't all plastic like all the modern ones are. Of course, this is plastic. Well, the bumper's still nice and metal. This is plastic. It's a massive engine. And sure, it's kind of hard to get some of the back parts, but you really don't have to do much to these diesels. So let's start it up, climb up here. I'm getting old. I got to pull myself in. Start her up. Starts right up. Now for a diesel, it's actually pretty quiet. We got the hood open. You don't hear a bunch of horrible rattling noises like you do in a bunch of the Fords. Even though this thing's got 193,903 miles on it. 4-wheel drive systems, all done electronically. Now this guy's a big guy. It's a big truck. Check it out. Look at the space between my head and the roof. That's a long distance. If you're a big guy, hey, you're definitely going to feel comfortable in one of these things. As we put it in reverse, the camera system's not working on this at the moment. This is a serious work truck, and it's got some bash damage from work. Well, such is life. We really don't care. We have eyes. You can see. Work trucks are going to get dings on them. No, he bought it with 171,000 miles and basically just changed the oil on it. I mean, unlike a lot of the other Chrysler Dodge products, you get a Cummins diesel. They're excellent vehicles. If I was going to get a diesel, I'd want the Cummins diesel because they have such a history of making good engines over the ages. Is this truck gonna make me eat my own words? Well, let's get out the scan tool and find out. So in we go. Close the door so it shuts up. Turn the key on. Nice black and chrome interior. Like you say, the gauges give you all kinds of information. It's doing the auto VIN read. In a work truck, it makes much more sense to have regular upholstery, fabric, not leather. It's going to hold up a lot better when people throw crap over it and just last longer. We found a few faults: radio, passenger door, driver's door. That's all. The other stuff's perfectly fine. So we'll start with the BCM that has 3 codes. Lost communication with camera module. We know the camera's not working. Center stop lamp control. License plate lamp control. Well, that's all because the tailgate got hit and stuff's bent and broken in there. If he wants to fix it, go ahead and fix it. If he doesn't care about the backup, he's always pulling the trailer anyways. And that's obvious because it got hit. That has nothing to do with the problem the vehicle had from wearing out. It's just from running into stuff. That's what happens with a work truck. A problem with the video input, well, he doesn't really care. The passenger door module has a code. Door module internal is missing calibration. As in all modern vehicles, its computer modules all over the place, even working stuff in the doors well as door lock works. Everything else works. Who knows, he bought it used. Maybe at some time it was in a wreck and they didn't reconfigure the module in there. Driver's door module, we'll see what that is. Master switch, front right window switch. Door module internal, missing calibration. I know, that window works. That window works, so who really cares? All the information about how everything runs. There we go. We'll start looking at this data here. On the transfer case for the 4-wheel drive, it's all normal. It's all black data. None of it's red. Check it out. The intelligent battery sensor even shows the state of health of the battery, that it's 76.5% good, the battery. All kinds of data. It's all correct. Everything's complex these days, even the diesels. You gotta have a mechanic who knows what he's doing to mess around with these things. But if you change the oil regularly, you might have to see a mechanic for any kind of engine work for a long time. Now there's no backup camera, so I'm gonna have to look. Last time I drove a Dodge, I ran the neighbor's mailbox down. So I'll take it a little wider this time. For a big old diesel truck, it isn't all that loud. Yeah, they're not as quiet as gasoline vehicles, but these are nowhere near as loud as the old ones were. Big truck, but it handles perfectly well. Now, it does make a noise when you got the fan on, but that's because there's a piece of leaf or something in there. So we'll turn the fan off. Now the noise is gone. You want to be high and dry up in the air. It's a nice tall truck. Our drag strip, so we'll drive down here and we'll look behind us. There's nobody behind us. Oh, yes, there is. So we'll have to go fast. We'll have to go. And here we go. Now you'll notice one thing. You didn't really hear the shifts, and you don't really feel them. This isn't a race truck, it's a big diesel work truck. It's not particularly fast off the line like the Hellcat Hemi pickup truck that I drove last year that had 700 horsepower. Now that was insane, but this has pulling power. This is a work truck. It's made. It's pulling a lot of weight. Not breaking down. It's almost to 200,000 miles. And it's had basically nothing done to it but oil changes. All right, so what's my conclusion? Yeah, he bought it with 170,000 miles. It still runs pretty much like new when he's just changed the oil in it. And everybody's gonna say, Scotty, you're such a hypocrite. Now you're saying these are great. I'm only saying they're great Dodges because they got Cummins engines. You want a giant truck that pulls a lot of weight, and you don't care about 13 miles a gallon, towing, pulling things all over the place, you might think about one of these 2,500 Cummins for heavy duty work. That's what it's made for. It can last many hundreds of thousands of miles. Look at this thing. Almost 200,000 miles. It still runs pretty much like new. Now this is a 2017, so it's made in the US. It's got VIN number 1, which is a good thing. But unfortunately, the battery that came with was made in Mexico. And that was a rolling pile of crap, which he knows. He tested it. Even the guys at the dealer told him those are garbage. So he replaced it with an American battery instead of the cheaply made Mexican one. But the truck itself was made in the United States. Chrysler's moved a lot of their stuff south of the border. This was made in the United States. And if you are looking for one of these, you really want one that was made here in the United States. They have a lot less problems. You can see here, it's a big 5.7 liter Hemi engine. The gas hogs, they got a lot of power, and as long as you remember one thing they can last. One, you want to change your oil and filter every 5,000 miles with full synthetic oil and a good filter, and you do not want to idle this thing for long periods of time because They made the cam too high above the crank, and when they idle, it doesn't lubricate the camshafts all that well. They're perfectly fine otherwise. Drive them all you want. Drive them all over the place. But don't sit there idling, because it will wear the cam. Then you got to rebuild the engine, and it costs a small fortune. I've got customers that don't idle them. They understand. They got 150, 180,000. The engines are still purring along perfectly fine. But you can't sit there waiting at a train going by with the AC running, idling. These engines aren't made for that. If you don't idle them, generally, they go perfectly fine. The faster they go, the better they work. Once you get going faster, the oil splashes all over the place and the cam gets lubricated. The problem is, the cam was made too high, so just idling, it doesn't splash the oil up from the crankshaft to the camshaft to lubricate it. That's just something you have to realize if you're going to buy one of these. Don't think you're going to buy it and sit like the cops at a donut shop with the engine idling, or you will wear it out faster. Now, he got a 4x4, but this particular one has that air ride suspension on it. He's not a guy who's going to go rock crawling and off-roading. He likes the ride. And he says on the highway, which he does a lot of highway driving, the ride is indeed better because of that air ride system. Now, of course, when the air ride system breaks, you start throwing thousands of dollars all over the place to fix it, but it hasn't broken yet, and he really likes the ride on it. We'll check it out when we take it for a spin. Check it out, he's got the biggest key holder I've ever seen. Look at the size of this thing. We look inside, they're nice seats. They're very comfortable. They got the Rebel emblem in them. In the back seat has plenty of room, a little bit less than a loaded F-150, but there's still tons of room inside here. The dual ram boxes, which is cool. One on the left side and one on the right side. They come in handy. Of course, you can lock them. He unlocked them for the trip. See what she sounds like? Sounds like a Hemi. He kept it stock. It's not loud. We'll turn the music off. And of course, everything's electronic, including the shifting, including going into the four-wheel drive. You can have four-wheel drive locked. You can have two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive low, four-wheel drive high. Nicely set up. This little Rebel, red and black and silver. It really looks nice. And a pickup truck with a sunroof. It's nicely set up. You got your water temperature, tach. You got your battery charging. You got your oil pressure. It's nicely set up. And it's both digital and an analog setup. Got our all tail out here. We'll do diagnostics. And it's starting to read stuff. Here we go. It's read the VIN. 2017 Ram. There's the VIN number. And while it's reading all the stuff, it's got a nice cool little tunnel here. You can fit all kinds of stuff in. Drinks, charging your phone, whatever you want. And he's got his University of Texas hat, because that's where he got his engineering degree. I gotta say, it's a nice, comfy truck inside. As you can see, it's a typical Dodge Chrysler product. It's got a bunch of codes. A bunch of them probably aren't going to mean much of anything, but the BCM has a code, and we'll see what that says. Humidity sensor module. Sometimes the technology goes a little bit too far. Humidity sensor, well, he says the AC works fine, so, hey, believe it or not, I had one of those on a dryer at my house in Houston. And you know what I did? I just cut the stupid thing out and I rewired it so it didn't have that sensor module anymore, because it kept turning the stupid light on. The dryer worked fine. It dried the clothes. That's all I cared about. We'll erase the stupid thing. See if it comes back later. A fault for the electronic power steering. We'll see what that is. ECU reset recovery occurred. Now, what kind of a code is that? Well, it could have been maybe the computer was even replaced before he bought it and they didn't reset it. So we'll reset the stupid thing and see if it comes back after the road test. Erase codes. 3 codes for the passenger door module. Oh, that should prove interesting. We'll see what those are. Read codes. Battery voltage input. Circuit voltage below threshold. System voltage below range. Mirror approach light control circuit open. Well, we're going to erase those too. But realize, as he told me, he had one of those crappy Mexican batteries and you replace the battery. The Mexican battery, it had low voltage. It's going to trip a lot of these codes, and unless you reset the codes, the computer remembers everything. It's like an elephant, right? We're shocking the system here so the elephant won't remember that. We'll see what happens after we road test it. And the last one is 5 codes for the driver's door module. That'll probably be more voltage codes. Let's check it out. Voltage, blah, blah, blah. So we'll erase those too. What we're going to do now is we're going to start her up. And we're going to look at the engine live data, ECM. Black is good, red is bad, and we will start going through all this craziness here. Barometric pressure, you can see what the weather is outside. Throttle system, all that looks good. The injector pulse widths are all good. And you can see they're switching low-high like they're supposed to on the oxygen sensors. Gives you all kinds of information. Look at all this oxygen sensor information. He'd appreciate that because he's an engineer. Trim adaptation's pretty good. It goes between 0 and 1. And -2, that's what you expect. Even gives you the engine oil temperature. Not just the pressure, but the temperature. Oh, the cam data. Look on, there's tons more data. Got the system for the 4-wheel drive system, all that data. Enough data to make your head spin. Nothing wrong, so let's take it for a road test. Check out the air ride system, but you can also adjust it too. We're gonna let it adjust itself. And it's got this setup for towing too. It's quite an interesting system when it's working. Just pray it doesn't break. Got a pretty straightforward backup camera, nice resolution, even though we're going right into the sun. So here we go to our little drag strip. We're looking backwards in the side mirror, make sure no one's gonna rear end us, because I'm not the only one that drives like a lunatic on this road. And here we go. Now it didn't squeal much, but that's because it's got traction control and it's turned on. But even though it's only the stock exhaust, it's got a nice sound. And of course, tons of horsepower for taking off. And let's say you want to pass somebody here, we're going a little under 50, you floor it, and you start passing people. There's no problems with it whatsoever, as long as you got money for gas. Tires do have 39,000 miles on them, and you can hear them starting to hum quite a bit. It's almost time for new tires, and he can decide if he wants aggressive ones for off-roading. He does an awful lot of highway driving. I'm guessing he's going to go for a quieter highway ride tire. I would. So what do I think of this Ram? Well, I'm pleasantly surprised. He was no fool. One of the main reasons he bought this is because the VIN is #1, meaning it was made in the USA. He wanted one made in the USA, and I agree entirely. There's no way I would buy one of these things that was made in Mexico. They just don't have the quality. This one, you can see the quality still held up. There's absolutely nothing wrong other than squirrely little codes that were there because he changed the battery and it had low voltage. When you get low voltage, the computer gets confused. It starts tripping all kinds of wanky codes, and some of them, who knows? It might have been an offender bender, hit the door module, and the guy never reset it. Everything works, but if they don't reset it, the codes are going to stay there forever until somebody resets them. So really, hey, beautiful looking truck. He saved a ton of money buying it used instead of buying a new one. He does pull a lot of weight, and that's what you want this big Hemi V8 for. You're going to pull a lot of weight. Don't get yourself a little Turbo 4. You're not going to be happy. The engine's not going to be happy. The transmission's not going to be happy. Hey, this thing still runs like it's off the showroom floor, and he saved himself not only a lot of time, but as far as I'm concerned, he's got a better truck than the ones that they're building today. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.